For this statistical investigation designed for Year 7 students, the research question is, are Year 7 boys taller than Year 7 girls? Height was measured in centimetres while students were not wearing any shoes. This question was chosen as it is known that males are often taller than females once fully grown adults. Around the age of Year 7, boys and girls have growth spurts at different times. It will be interesting to look into which gender is taller at this age. It is expected that at this year level, female students will be taller than male students. To find out the answer to this question, a random sample was developed of 12 female and 12 males of Year 7 age. The sample included information about each individual's height. A sample size of 12 individuals for each gender was selected. This was decided upon as a total of 24 is large enough to determine any patterns without being too much data to work with. A random sample of 12 female students was requested using the Australian Bureau of Statistics website. This process was then repeated for male students. This data was initially presented in Excel. The female data was left the same as there was no obvious errors or outliers present. The heights of the female students were similar to each other and within a reasonable range. In the male data set, there is one individual who was quite a bit taller than the rest. This was kept in the data set as it is simply considered to be an outlier, not an error. This male student is quite a bit taller than the rest in the data set. For this investigation, data will be rounded to the nearest whole number. Now, to look at how the data has been represented in different ways. Firstly, a table was used to display the raw data for both sample groups. Tables are a good way to keep raw data, but to determine any patterns and draw conclusions, it needs to be displayed in different ways. Tables were also used later with other information gained from Excel, such as the mean, median, and etc. The data was next displayed as stem and leaf plots, which shows us how the data is spread out and in which group of 10 most of the data occurs. A double column graph was created with both male and female data represented on the same graph. This gives us further insight into how the data is spread out. With both female and male data is represented on the same graph, comparison is easier. A pie or sector graph was also made for each set of data. This did not provide any further information than the stem and leaf plot and is therefore not that beneficial for this investigation with this kind of data. Excel was used to calculate the mean, median, mode, and range. Using Excel to determine the mean, an equal sign was typed, then the word mean. The data for either the male or female group was highlighted. The mean would then appear in the box. A similar process was used to work out each value. This information was then recorded in a table. In answer to the original question, it can be concluded that female Year 7 students are slightly taller than male students. This was determined by mostly considering the mean and median. The mean height for female students is 156.8 centimeters, while the mean for male students is 156.5 centimeters. The mean for the male group was increased greatly by one piece of data. The variance of the male set of data is much higher. The majority of female students are taller than the male students. The results show that Year 7 females are slightly taller than males, particularly as the results were so close. Further data would need to be looked at to determine if this conclusion is reflective of the whole population. It is a fairly small sample size to accurately apply to the wider population.
Created using Powtoon.